パゴスに出会わせてくれて。これからもよろしくね、パゴゴ。
What's going on, trainers? Dom from the Otaku Room here, and today, my friends, we got to witness something extremely special, extremely emotional, and extremely powerful with Pokémon Horizons episode number 75. This has to easily be one of the best episodes of Pokemon, in my opinion, ever. I think that in all the seasons of Pokemon, not just Horizons, in all the seasons of Pokemon, we have very special episodes that they hit a certain way to us, right? The first time Ash met Pikachu and Pikachu Lightning bolted all the different Pidgeys that were attacking them, to the time that they were on Cinnabar Island, to the time that they were, in the Johto region, to the time that we had Bye Bye Butterfree, to the time that Ash won his very first actual tournament in the Cinnabar Islands, or in the specific, like, whatever you call it, the master tournament that he was a part of, where he won that big tournament. There's just these really emotional moments that Pokemon has provided for us. And I really think that Liko now can go down in history as having one of her most powerful and one of her most emotional episodes of Pokemon yet. And this episode really, really hit me. I was really emotional this episode, not only from hearing Ristal's backstory and Lucius's backstory, and finding out that he left Ristal with a little present, before he kind of left off and everything. But just kind of finding out about Liko's heritage and her history. And, learning that her grandma, never really knew anything about Ristal whatsoever. And per Layla, which is her, I guess, her great-grandmother, is that this Ristal girl died pretty young, unfortunately. And because of that, she never really knew her that well. But one of Ristal's things was to not really pass on the knowledge of Lucius, to protect and, whatever. She wanted to keep it very personal to her. And it was just a very, very sad story. That, obviously the happy part is Ristal kind of kept a portion of him and everything that occurred, but the really sad part is that she had to kind of live life alone and unfortunately died early. And that's just a really, really sad notion and really sad thing. Now, unfortunately, the fortunate part is it birthed Layla, that birthed Diana, that birthed Liko's mother, that birthed Liko. So obviously there's a happy ending to that. There's a big family lineage that Lucius himself has left behind that he's going to get to find and maybe meet Liko, which is really cool to be able to meet your great-great-great-grandkid or whatever. Like, that is a really positive thing, but it's just so sad, Ristal's story. And not only did she get torn apart from, her partner Lucius, her life partner Lucius, but then she got torn from her Pokemon partner in Pagago, in Terapagos. So it's just a really emotional episode. And I love the way that they brought everything together. So the Explorer's mission is finally complete, and they find Rakua. Rakua is essentially this big paradise, or like safe, you call it, I guess, like a safe haven for Pokemon and legendary Pokemon. And this is a place to where that they can go and be inhabited by nature. It's a safe place. There's Latios and Latias and legendary. It's a protected sanctuary, essentially, for Pokemon. That's really what Rakua is this, like, this big paradise for Pokemon. So it's really cool. So the explorers, Lucius and his group, finally find this Rakua place, and they also find something that they weren't intending to find, which is this Rakurium. And the Rakurium is this, that pink crystal that has been, fluttering around. And essentially what it does is it inhabits life, growth, evolution, and it can also destroy. So just like it can really, like, have a lot of growth, and it can really, like, breathe life, and to an exponential degree, it also degrades it. So because of that, you know, the best thing that Lucius thought was like, yo, let's get out of here. Like, let's not mess with something. Let's not mess with the unknown that we're really not supposed to. This is something that is the world, the universe, the earth has created for Pokemon, and like this is not something we should be a part of. Unfortunately, you know, 𝐒𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐵𝐵, the villain of the story, had different motivations behind it. So once he found it, he just kind of went crazy, you know, because he saw that this Rakurium birthed these huge trees, and that's probably why Pokemon have gotten a lot larger as well too, just by being around this mist and stuff. So you know, his villains do what villains do. You know, his crazy starts to take over. And that's how we can now fast forward into why he's still alive, is because he lives in like this Rakurium booth, or this, you know, this lab that's just always surrounded by him that keeps him young. And if Lucius is somehow still alive in Rakua, it's probably because he's also surrounded by this mist, which would also make sense of why there's a lot of legendary Pokemon that have been passed down from generations and generations. Because we know that Pokemon live a very, 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 very long time, way outliving humans. We know that. But there's a chance that because a lot of maybe legendary Pokemon come from this paradise, you know, for a variety of reasons, there's a chance that this Rakurium, this natural gas in the earth, and these are all just, I'm just spitballing, but there's a chance that all these natural gases kept them alive for a long time. So as they come in and out of the Rakurium, that's how things get passed down by generations. And that's why that, you know, Ash can meet a Ho-Oh that was also met by ancient civilization before. You know what I mean? And if you start thinking in that sense, it all kind of comes together in a way of like, oh, okay, a lot of the most important Pokemon that haven't really been seen can, you know, a portion of them stem from other places in the earth, obviously, but they could probably stem from this place. And that's how they go in and out, and they're kind of kept alive for a long time. Even longer than their natural life. Because if you think about it right now, all the Guardian Pokemon that Lucius had, including Rayquaza and, you know, Terapagos, they've been around for 100+ years as it is, because that's how much time has passed. So Pokemon live for a long time, is what I'm saying. But this kind of exceeds that. So I just love I love what this has introduced into Pokemon. I just think it's just so cool. And Lucius may still be out there. So essentially, you know, the Rakurium, you know, is starting to explode everywhere. Terapagos, along with the Guardian Pokemon, you know, Rayquaza and Lapras and all of them, gets around, and they basically spread out through the earth like Dragon Balls. Terapagos went in their crystal, and the reason is Terapagos basically used all of its energy to, you know, confine the Rakurium into this one place, but then Lucius was stuck there as well too. So we don't know if Lucius is stuck with Rakua or if he's stuck in that dome that Terapagos originally created. But the Rakua place got destroyed. Don't really know what ended up happening there, but it's somewhere in the middle of the ocean, as Ristal was explaining to us. Last thing I'll touch on is Terapagos. You know, well, last two things is Diana, our grandma, finally kind of passed on her life's mission to Liko and kind of let her know, like, you're the one. Like, I didn't know any of this stuff. Like, you're the one that has surfaced all of this. Kind of put a button in a completion tab on Diana's personal mission in a way, and she's now kind of just passed on her mission to Liko, which is a really cool familial thing. I love that quite a bit. So I love that. And then the other part of it is, you know, based on generational stuff, Ristal kind of passed Terapagos. She's like, you know, Terapagos is kind of like, you know, he was my partner, but he's obviously your partner now. So take good care. And she catches him in a Pokeball, and it's just such a cool scene. You know, what does that mean? Like, she basically got a super legendary Pokemon. And she also has Moltres and Lapras, and will all the other Guardian Pokemon be passed on to her as well too? Because that just introduces, like, imagine her throwing out a black, you know, let's say it doesn't go to Roy, let's say it goes to Liko. Imagine her throwing out a black Rayquaza or an Entei. Like, that's just so sick. Lucius's Pokemon were just so sick. But that basically got past her, so she now officially is Terapagos' owner. So I can keep talking about this for a while. I'm going to just say that this episode was so impactful and so emotional. It got me teared up a bit. just as Rista was telling her story and just the overthinking that happens as it's being delivered. And then the emotional moment between Terapagos crying in Liko's arm. Just, oh my gosh. Like, one of the best episodes of Pokemon that we just witnessed, in my opinion. All right, friends, I'm going to leave you guys with those thoughts there. This was a 10 out of 10 episode for me. There was no bad thing to say about this episode. This was a perfect episode of Pokemon. I absolutely loved it. 10 out of 10 for me. Sorry about this video, guys, being late during the weekend. It was a crazy work weekend, crazy familial weekend. But I was able to come back and make this video now. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this. Thank you guys for being around. Thank you for watching my Pokemon content as always. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, my friends.